watch the college football playoff selection show. You watch the college football playoff selection show. I got things to say about these rankings. All right? All right? Yeah. Woosa. 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 All right. Number one. Hey, we all agree on this. Hey, positives. I'm always told, hey, RJ, start with yes. Yes, we all agree. Number one, Georgia. Yeah. All right, so the thing for Georgia on this is there's only been one other team that started out in these initial college football playoff selection committee rankings that also finished with the national championship trophy, and it was last year. 2020, Alabama ran the table, 13-0, all SEC schedule, destroyed Notre Dame, destroyed Ohio State, raised the college football playoff national championship trophy. They're trying to become the second team to accomplish that feat, and the second in as many years. We all know that Georgia is a juggernaut on defense. We get it. Jordan Davis, I think, ought to get an invitation to the Heisman ceremony, if not win it. But, I don't think that the Heisman Trophy got enough courage to give a defensive player the Heisman Trophy. But you know what? If you think that that's a challenge, that's because it is. Now, the thing that Georgia needs to guard against is quite honestly, passing game, right? They got 4 tailbacks that can start for anybody. James Cook, Zamir White's averaging 5.2 yards per carry. He's got over 500 rush yards in the first 8 games of the season. We know what Kendall Milton is. We know what Kenny McIntosh is. It's Stetson Bennett that we still have questions about. He's not thrown for 300 yards this season. Hasn't had to, though. That's kind of the point, right? 12 TDs, 4 INTs. Did not start the season as the number one at quarterback. JT Daniels gets hurt again. And Stetson Bennett does what Kirby Smart likes, which is straight up, hey, I just want a dude that ain't going to turn the ball over. I want a guy that's going to manage the game. They look very 2009, 2011 Alabama. They're not going to be flashy with their offense, though they could be, and that's kind of the point. If they get George Pickens back, they get Dominique Blaylock back, they get, my goodness, they could have an outstanding passing attack if they so chose. And you know what? They might actually have to do that, because if you take a look at the teams that they've beaten and how they've beaten them, you could make an argument that all anybody has to do is open the door, but who's going to open the door against a defense that's giving up 6.6 points per game? 53 points total all year. That's as many as anybody has scored altogether on Georgia. I mean, Oklahoma had 52 last year, but we'll get to them in here in just a second. So Georgia at number one. At number two, we already got problems. We got problems, all right? Alabama at number two. Okay. Here's the argument for Alabama. They've beaten good teams, and they beat them badly. As a matter of fact, I was writing this down. They have like 5 wins against 500 competition or better, which is not a small thing. They beat the tar out of an Ole Miss team that we all thought was good. And you know what? Still looks good enough, right? They also are in a position now where Nick Saban gets the benefit of the doubt. As I see this, with one loss, Alabama's brand got ranked number 2, not the football team, all right? I think they're good. But since winning isn't winning for them, though, like, it's just, why are we playing football games if winning doesn't matter? This is a theme that you're going to see throughout the rest of the show. I believe that winning has to matter. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or by a mile. Winning's winning. But apparently, not to the suits at Gaylord, Texas, in a boardroom that ain't playing the game. All right? I got another thing that I need to get to later on, but Alabama at 2. I got a problem with that, but you know what? You win out, you beat Georgia, you're in the playoff, right? But at this rate, that's exactly what it feels like it's going to happen, because if anybody can unlock Georgia, it's going to be Alabama. If Alabama loses, then we have a whole different conversation. At number 3, we got Michigan State. I don't have a problem with this at all, right? I really enjoy this. Kenneth Walker III is having a Heisman Trophy caliber season. It's about whether or not he can finish. There's a big if at the end of their schedule against an Ohio State where they need to show out to prove to everybody that they're that good. The K9 is that dude, right? He's already got over 1,100 yards rushing this season. Had a monster signature game against a formerly undefeated Michigan team, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. And the defense is good enough. They're not great, but I like Scotty Hazelton. Scotty Hazelton, defensive coordinator. That's the dude that helped Kansas State beat Oklahoma when Jalen Hurts was the quarterback and they made it to the college football playoff. They're good, right? I love my man X. Like, Xavier Henderson is that dude, right? They had a couple of guys on the outside that I really enjoyed too. If Peyton Thorne doesn't turn the ball over, Michigan State could be in line to play for its first national championship since 1966. Like, they're that good. And, hey, keep that in mind as we go into Saturday, because I got a little treat for y'all that you're going to want to hear about just a little bit later on. I want to spoil it right quick. Number 4, we got Oregon. Thank goodness we got Oregon at number 4 here, though I'm not a fan of one-loss teams being ranked inside the top 4, as you very much know. But that's how big the brand of Ohio State is, all right? That's what we've learned here. Alabama and Ohio State, they get the benefit of the doubt. Matter of fact, the only team outside of the top 4 at the initial rankings period of the college football playoff to win a national championship is, of course, 2014 Ohio State. If you beat them, it's not just a signature win for you. It's one in which the committee just says, hey, we value Ohio State more than we value almost everybody else. And I'm glad to know that walking into hostile territory that is the shoe without the best player in the country to some and Kayvon Thibodeau, and then putting up 35 on Ohio State to win by a touchdown matters, because if it didn't, I was going to point to this protocol that says head-to-head if it occurs, and it most definitely did occur. Has to matter because winning has to matter. That's a problem for me, in that we're going to keep talking about this winning thing. Has to matter. All right, so that's our top 4 right now. So playoff ended today. We'd have Georgia versus Oregon. All right, fine. Then we'd have Alabama versus Michigan State. All right, fine, right? But the 2 one-loss teams in the top 4 bug me. And then at number 5, the Ohio State Buckeyes, who, I need to correct myself from Saturday, have beaten 3 teams with winning records, right? Penn State, Maryland, Minnesota. Minnesota, though, who we'll talk about here in a little bit, they lost to a money in the bag victor. What are we doing? They don't even have their top 3 tailbacks now. What are we doing? All right. Ohio State has gotten better defensively. One with the change in play caller from Kerry Combs, who absolutely is still coaching his butt off, and I applaud the way that he has taken this. And Matt Barnes, who I really just want to hear talking to Matt Barnes on All the Smoke, because that's a Venn diagram of me. But they've been pretty good defensively. But against who? We don't trust that Penn State offense. And Sean Clifford went for over 300 against them. You gonna tell me that a good win is Tulsa? I went to Tulsa. I know what Tulsa is. I watched them lose to Navy the last week, baby. No, don't put Tulsa up in this conversation, all right? You're telling me that you just like Ohio State's recruiting. You like their quarterback, C.J. Stroud. I like him. But you also like TreVeyon Henderson. And this is where we get into a bold prediction for me. TreVeyon Henderson will finish the season as a Heisman Trophy finalist. 105 carries this season, over 800 plus yards. The man is absolutely a walking first down. Now, many of you have been fans of this show, fans of this channel since the way back. Remember, I have been riding the TreVeyon Henderson train for 2 straight years. And now that the man is on broadcast television, we got a lot of people trying to get on the train late. Sorry, it left out of Hopewell, Virginia, when his huddle film is an 11-minute highlight of house calls. That dude is different. I said at the time, Christian McCaffrey, Zeke, these are dudes you need to put him in the same conversation with. People was like, I don't know, RJ. They got Master Teague. I don't know, RJ. They got Maya Williams. I don't know, RJ. Steel Chamber was good enough to play back there, but they moved to the other side of the ball. Yo, man, I tried to tell y'all, this dude with the V is a victor. And anytime you hand him the ball, he has an opportunity to go make a house call, okay? That's what that dude is. If you give him an opportunity, he's going to hurt you. As a matter of fact, just ask Ryan Day, who kept feeding him the rock against Penn State, and then the man went for 68, and then eventually punched it in for 71 rush yards on 1 drive. You can't hold him. You can only hope to contain him. Now, outside of that, they legit got 4 tackles playing on the offensive line. It's stupid over there, man. Like, I get a big kick out of watching that offensive line, because one of the things I asked Ryan Day about way back, right, after they got their first win of the season against Minnesota, was what is it like to know that you have that kind of talent on your offensive line? Did you have tackles that you can move inside to play guard? And they were still figuring it out, obviously. But now it seems like they have figured it out. Now, Penn State's defense, Brent Pry, they need to get a little bit more love, I think, because when they got it, right? And if you can run on them, you can run on anybody. They're going to have to because Michigan State later in the season, they're running teams. They're going to want to take advantage of that. All right. I don't like Ohio State at 5, but you know me, I like winning. I think winning ought to matter. But they're at 5. Playoff committee gives them an opportunity to make the college football playoff should they win out, win the Big Ten championship, and Oregon, Michigan State, well, I mean, to beat Michigan State, they take that spot, right? All right. Number 6, a dubious honor. The highest-ranked Group of 5 team in CFP history is now Cincinnati, who was the AP number 2. Like, why are we even doing this? Right? I'm not a Cincinnati fan. You know this. You know that I'm not in on the Des Ridder train. I'm not there. It's not that Luke Fickell is an outstanding coach because he is. He's an amazing coach. It's that they're undefeated. They beat a team that the playoff committee ranked number 10 on the road in a hostile environment. And the best you could do for an undefeated Cincinnati is 6? Get out of my face. And this is the thing. Like when I made my prediction of what the playoff committee was going to do, I didn't even consider Cincinnati as a top 4 team because I knew that they wouldn't. They don't want to give no respect to teams outside the Power 5. I don't like living in that world, but apparently that's the one they want to live in. So you got Cincinnati at number 6. Thanks for watching this video. And remember, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos on the number 1 ranked show YouTube channel.